This needs to be settled. What car is Lightning McQueen? I think I might know the exact answer. A lot of people seem to think he's a C6 Corvette, but he can't be because there's already a Corvette car in Cars 2 and 3, so he's not a Corvette. Some also think he's a Dodge Viper, which I can see the resemblance, but the hood of the Viper is way too long and very out of proportion with McQueen, so I had to dig even deeper. I looked up when Cars started production. 1998, and we know the Piston Cup is based off NASCAR, meaning McQueen has to be a NASCAR from a similar era. I believe Lightning McQueen is a late 1990 to early 2000s NASCAR Monte Carlo. His iconic spoiler and design is a near identical match. But if you still don't think he's mainly based off a Monte Carlo, Lightning McQueen's real name is actually revealed to be Monty McQueen. I think this has to be a reference to him being in fact a Monte Carlo NASCAR. Did you know that Jackson Storm from Cars 3 is actually based on a car in real life? And I might be the first person to find out exactly what car he's based off of. When you search on Google what car is Jackson Storm, Google tells you he's based off a 2002 Cadillac Sienne concept car. But this didn't sit right with me, because Cars 3 was released in 2017, and this car was not for racing and was not a hybrid like Jackson Storm. So I had to dig deeper. I looked up when Cars 3 started production, 2014, meaning Jackson Storm has to be a hybrid race car from a similar era. And if you're familiar with endurance racing, then you would know this is when hybrid cars started dominating the WEC. They were basically next-gen race cars just like Jackson Storm. And I believe Jackson Storm was based off the Cadillac DPI VR concept car that was presented in early 2015. This car began racing in 2017 and was a very successful race car just like Storm. And crazily enough, the next generation of that race car is a near identical match to Jackson Storm. This needs to be settled. What car is Cruz Ramirez based off of? I have a theory, but it might be controversial. The Pixar wiki says Cruz is a 2017 CRS Sport Coupe, but that's just a fictional description. And people seem to think she's either a Ferrari F12 Berlinetta or a Jaguar F-Type. I can see the resemblance, but there's one major issue. The Pixar wiki claims she's powered by a dual overhead cam V6. And while the F12 is powered by a V12 and the F-Type is powered by a V8, although it does come with a V6, but there's no way a V6 F-Type would beat Jackson Storm. So I had to dig deeper. There was only one particular sports car powered by a V6 that's fast enough to beat a car like Jackson Storm. I'm talking about the Nissan R35 GTR, also known as the Supercar Killer. If you remember back in 2015, the Nissan R35 GTR set the record for the fastest Nürburgring lap time, which is around the same time the movie was being made. Also, I believe Cruz's headlights and car body shape resemble the GTR quite well. Do you remember this scene from the Pixar movie Cars? Today I'm going to tell you what each tuner car is based off of in real life. First up is this neon purple car, Boost. Boost is based off one of my favorite JDM cars, the Nissan Silvia S15. DJ, the dude playing the music, is a 2004 Scion XB, customized as a Japanese music van. Wingo, yeah, the dude with the awesome wing, is a mix of a Mitsubishi Eclipse and an Acura RXX, with the front end being an Eclipse and the rear being an RSX. And lastly, Snot Rod. Snot Rod is a 1970 Plymouth Barracuda mixed with a 1970 Dodge Challenger. Let me know which of these tuner cars is your favorite. Did you know that Chick Hicks was based on an actual NASCAR driver? Chick Hicks was a blatant cheater, causing huge car crashes and even pit maneuvering the king. But I believe Chick Hicks was based on the NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt Sr., who was notorious for being a dirty driver for his aggressive racing style. Chick Hicks also has this large mustache front grille that obviously resembles Dale Earnhardt's mustache. Dale Earnhardt's 1984 Chevy also has similarities to Chick Hicks' design, both being blocky old-school race cars. But in reality, Dale Earnhardt can never actually be compared to Chick Hicks. He was a very well-respected and liked driver on and off the racetrack, unlike Chick Hicks. This needs to be settled. Could Lightning McQueen actually beat Jackson Storm in Cars 3? Today I'm going to argue why I think Lightning McQueen could have actually beaten Jackson Storm. We know that the Piston Cup is based off of NASCAR, and in a previous video I spoke about how Lightning McQueen was most likely based off a 4th gen Monte Carlo stock car, meaning that we can assume that Jackson Storm was presumably a Gen 5 or 6 stock car. According to the Pixar wiki, Jackson Storm reaches a top speed of 214 miles per hour, while McQueen reaches a top speed of 200 miles per hour. But if you're a NASCAR enthusiast, you might know that these top speeds are limited because of restrictor plates. Restrictor plates are metal plates placed in the engine intake to reduce airflow, thereby limiting horsepower and top speed. And I believe if you removed Lightning McQueen's restrictor plates, he might have been able to beat Jackson Storm. When the restrictor plates are removed of a 4th Gen Monte Carlo NASCAR, they can reach speeds up to 230 miles per hour, while Gen 5 and 6 NASCARs can only reach up to 220. Comment below if you think Lightning McQueen would beat Jackson Storm without restrictor plates. If Lightning McQueen was able to beat Francesco Bernoulli in Cars 2, why couldn't he beat Jackson Storm in Cars 3? I mean, Francesco Bernoulli's top speed was 220 miles per hour, while Jackson Storm's is only 214 miles per hour, meaning McQueen at some point was faster than Jackson Storm. But I know why McQueen was not able to beat him. You see, Lightning was in his prime in Cars 2, and in Cars 3, Lightning McQueen is old. The older a car gets, the more performance it loses over time. Engines gradually lose horsepower as it ages. Suspension components also get worn. Cars simply age just like people, and that's what the concept of the movie was trying to portray. This needs to be settled. What car rocks the Lightning McQueen wrap the best? I dug through the internet trying to find every Lightning McQueen wrapped car I could find to rank them on a tier list. First up, we got the 7th generation Mustang. I think it looks good. I'll give it a B tier. Next is the Porsche 911. I think it looks good, but the 911 isn't really a car that fits McQueen. C tier. Next up is a Dodge Charger. This one straight up looks like a kid's toy. D tier. This one was a personal favorite of mine, the Dodge Challenger. A tier. This next one was extremely questionable, a BMW M2. Definitely D tier. I'm sorry, but this Hyundai Elantra gets F tier. McQueen is like the exact opposite of a Hyundai. Now this is where it gets controversial, because there's two cars people think resembles McQueen the most, the Dodge Viper and the C6 Corvette. I'm sorry Dodge Viper fans, but it's getting A tier. The C6 Corvette definitely gets S tier for rocking the Lightning McQueen wrap. They should have made this an option from factory like they did with the Bumblebee Camaro. Let me know if you guys want to see a part 2 because there was way too many cars to put on this list. This is what Pixar cars would look like in real life. This company makes front bumpers that make it look like the car has an actual mouth. They make these for the Suzuki Twin, and honestly it's the creepiest thing I've ever seen. But when you combine it with eyes in the windshield, it really does look like a car from Cars. It doesn't stop there, because there has been multiple in real life Lightning McQueen builds that have his smile. And honestly, it's one of the weirdest things you can do to a car. But for real though, what the hell happened to Mia and Tia? Remember this awesome scene from the Pixar movie Cars? Well, you can actually recreate it in real life with this. This is called Dragon's Breath, and it's the coolest car mod I've ever seen. It's a paste that allows you to shoot colored flames out your exhaust. The pink and green flames are my favorite just because it would be so cool to recreate the tuner scene from Cars. But you can also shoot blue and red flames too. Just imagine using this on a tuned R35 GTR and literally becoming an actual Godzilla, shooting 6-foot colored flames out the back. If you're a car guy, you should join my new Discord I linked in the comments below. These are the Cars characters in real life. I believe Lightning McQueen is an early 2000s Monte Carlo stock car, because we know Lightning McQueen is an early 2000s NASCAR, and Lightning McQueen's real name is actually Monty McQueen. Then I think Jackson Storm is a mix of Cadillac concept cars, but then Cadillac made a new concept car that looks just like Jackson Storm. Lastly is Cruz Ramirez. She definitely resembles a Jaguar F-Type, but has the performance characteristics of a Nissan R35 GTR, as she's powered by a dual overhead cam V6, just like an R35 GTR. But recently, Lotus dropped the Emira, a V6 powered sports coupe that looks and performs just like Cruz Ramirez. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.